and takes 3 minutes. We'll work with your attorney, and if you're approved, get you $500 as little as 24 hours. Use it for bills, rent, whatever you need help with. So call now or go online to apply. Remember, there's no risk to you.
Better days.
Better days.
Better days start today.
Oasis Financial, because life moves faster than your case.
Call now. Once approved, get your money in as little as 24 hours. 1-800-745-9991.
Embrace your inner weather nerd. Weather Watch 12. Weather from where you live. Weather Watch 12 with Conrad Sipinski. Weekends at 10 p.m. You're watching Newswatch 12. News from where you live.
And the payback on that has been this. We have the lowest level of unemployment we've ever had in our state's history, the most number of people ever working in the state of Wisconsin.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, find out how Governor Evers' campaign stop in Arbor Vitae played out as the election draws near. Plus,
this morning, temperatures are about to crash. Your full forecast is coming up.
And see just how much money has been spent this election cycle and how it is setting records. It's Friday, November 4th.
Newswatch 12 today with Jackie Smith, Michael Lodeholt, and Devin Biggs.
I'm Jackie Smith.
And I'm Michael Lodeholt.
And our luck for the weather has finally, it's kind of drawn out, I think. It's gone away.
Yes, I think it's not going to be quite as nice as we've been used to the last few days. I swear it's been a summer weather we've had.
Literally. And here to tell us about all these changes that are coming our way is Devin in the Weather Center. So, Devin, what's it looking like?
You know, after the week of tracking all this, I'm surprised I still have hair in my head. This has been one of those forecasts you want to rip your hair out because there's been a lot going on. That's how tedious this has been. But we also welcome a new camera to our Skycam fleet. We welcome Park Falls to our Skycam fleet this morning, so things are looking pretty decent out there this morning. And although we've had some rain, this is all tracking from the southwest going toward the north and east at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So already we've been seeing winds that have been a little gusty from time to time. But here we are right here. A lot of this is tracking from the southwest to the north and east. The storms have kind of backed off for now, but we're going to be watching for more precipitation moving in as we're just getting started. A lot of activity off toward the south and west. More rain will continue to move in later on. We need the rain in the state, though, for the lakes and rivers. So this is good news. Hopefully we don't get too much too quickly, but gradually this will be a welcome sight. Here's the temperatures. Let's play the game Find the Cold Front. You can tell us in the western parts of the state now, 40s being noted there. But for us, we're now still in the 50s and 60s. But those are going to be falling in a hurry. Here's our out-the-door forecast for today. Rain, wind, and just be ready. Temperatures reaching for the 50s early and then really falling throughout the day.
It is the final week on the campaign trail for political candidates.
Senator Ron Johnson toured northern Wisconsin on Thursday, including a stop right here in Rhinelander. The Republican is seeking his third term in the Senate and said he cautiously is optimistic about winning on Tuesday. He said this election should be an easy win, but blamed the educational system for creating so many liberals, which is why the race is so close. Johnson also criticized the mainstream media for favoring Democrats.
We have the media not telling the truth about, for example, my opponent. We've got to do that ourselves, and so we have headwinds here. It's not a fair fight. It's not a level playing field.
He said the media spends too much time talking about January 6th and not enough on the U.S.-Mexico border. Johnson also criticized his opponent, Mandela Barnes, for past critical comments about law enforcement and the founding of America.
More Wisconsinites understand that he's not being honest with them. He's been in hiding. So, hopefully people will understand who he really is and what he truly believes. So I think that gives us our best chance.
Johnson also made stops in Minocqua, Anago, and Wausau. Meanwhile, his Democratic challenger, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, was in the Fox Valley visiting Oshkosh yesterday.
Barnes made stops in Sheboygan and West Allis to meet with voters ahead of the election. This stop was part of Barnes' 16-day bus tour that includes more than 100 campaign stops leading up to Tuesday.
We're getting an incredible response everywhere we go around the state. People are energized. People are enthusiastic. Like I said, people are ready for change. They're tired of Ron Johnson's failed leadership and failed representation. We deserve to have 2 senators, and we have a chance to make that actually happen.
Barnes was joined in Oshkosh by Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin.
We're here rallying the folks who are ready for change, people who are tired of Ron Johnson serving himself for the last 12 years while leaving the rest of us behind. I mean, the reality is top while working class people in this state struggle.
Barnes will continue traveling as part of his Win for Wisconsin tour, making stops in Madison and Milwaukee today. And Governor Tony Evers stopped by the Vilas County Democratic Party headquarters in Arbor Vitae yesterday.
Evers arrived in his school bus, a nod to his background in education. He talked to his supporters about his administration's investments into the state's economy. That includes about $1 billion to small businesses, farmers, and the tourism industry.
Back on that has been this. We have the lowest level of unemployment we've ever had in our state's history, the most number of people ever working in the state of Wisconsin.
Evers has signed into law tax cuts for the middle class. He was critical of a flat tax, which economists say would decrease taxes on the top earners while raising taxes on the middle class.
He wants a flat tax, which impacts him. He and his buddies will get a huge, huge reduction in taxes. All of you and me will be paying more.
Evers also visited Marinette, Merrill, and Ashland.
And we have...
Meanwhile, Tim Michels was campaigning in Dane County on Thursday. He met with voters in Middleton. And in Marquette University's last poll before the elections on Tuesday, it seems that Evers and Michels are locked in a virtual tie at 48% each among likely voters.
The race for governor between Tony Evers and Republican challenger Tim Michels is the most expensive in state history. Spending as of last week by the candidates and special interest groups neared $115 million, according to the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign. That tops the previous record of $93 million set in 2018. Right Direction Wisconsin PAC, run by the Republican Governors Association, has spent the most of any advocacy group, nearly $9.3 million on spots attacking Evers. The top spending by a group backing Evers was $5.1 million by a Better Wisconsin Together political fund. Polls show the race to be an even match between the 2 candidates.
The judge has ordered a clerk to grant election observers greater access to in-person absentee voting. The move is siding with Republicans who alleged the clerk was allowing them to only view certain parts of the process. A Green Bay judge ordered the clerk to allow poll watchers access to areas where voters complete witness certification and return their ballots in the City Hall building. The clerk had previously allowed observers to be in her office where voters would check in, register to vote, and receive their ballots. However, voters were then sent to the hallway outside of her office to mark their choices, certify their ballot with a witness, and place it in a ballot box. And there's some good news, good economic news, hopefully. The U.S. jobs report comes out this morning.
And economist Kelly reports that news follows a painful week.
Today's jobs report caps off a rough week for finances. The Federal Reserve voted to raise interest rates by 3/4 of a point yesterday. That was expected. So here's the real news.
We still have some ways to go.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says more hikes are needed to reach the target of 2% inflation.
Incoming data since our last meeting suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates will be higher than previously expected.
The Fed must to affect one industry in particular, real estate.
In my career, I've never seen such a strong change in a market from the first half of the year to the second half of the year.
Between the Fed and high demand, mortgage rates have more than doubled this year. They hit a 2-decade high a couple weeks ago before ticking down slightly last week.
Many buyers right now are readjusting their expectations about what they're able to afford.
Like more shoppers will rely on those this holiday season. The National Retail Federation predicts sales will be up 6 to 8% over last year. Some economic analysts hope a season of financial pain will result in a happier new year.
While everyone will feel higher borrowing costs, they're also already feeling the effects of too high inflation.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And coming up in international news, find out the results of the latest Israeli election and who will be leading the country.
Plus, we tell you about a failed missile launch by North Korea as tensions continue to rise. Those stories and more news from around the world when we come back.
The lessons I learned growing up in Brownsville still ring true today. Work hard, take responsibility, and do your best. But that's not happening with Tony Evers. Evers released Wisconsin's worst criminals, killed jobs, paid people not to work, and he let so much more go up in flames. I'm Tim Michaels. It's time to stop the madness. As governor, I'll take the values I learned here and put them to work for Wisconsin.
Tim Michaels for governor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Justin Scher, DC with the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau. Are you one of the millions of people suffering with the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy? Your symptoms may include numbness and tingling